By the way, there is a type 2, and what's in this video is not it, just for the record. Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm going to talk more about people who, some people would say they're delusional. I think there needs to be delusional is different, really, as far as being the real definition of what is delusional, I guess. But I sometimes think there should be a delusional part, type 2. Maybe there is. I think it's called narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. Kind of joking there, but although really, but just how everyday people use delusional, like saying telling somebody, you think just because you do ABC that makes you XYZ, or you see something like that, and there's no kind of psychosis there. It's just that the person is very arrogant, like I said, narcissistic personality disorder traits, stuff like that, maybe more. Anyway, but these people. So let's put this. Imagine that you're online and you watch different channels. I call channels anything channel that's video, no matter what social media platform it's on. But you run across somebody who's really struggling, or you're recommended to view this person, and you watch a few of the videos. You say, nah, not really my cup of tea. Their families, they're struggling, and there's just something doesn't seem right to you about them, and you just move on. Well, about a year later, it recommends their channel again, and you watch a few, and you kind of get into it. Some of it's a little funny, some of it's the person's making comments about stuff that you understand and that you feel the same way about, the person making the videos. But as you start watching more and more, you're watching some of the older ones that it had recommended, and you're kind of working your way up. You see this person turns into one of these major grifters. The e-beggars, the ones people get online and say, oh, my poor family, and we don't have enough money, and to eat, and this and that. It's a single mom kind of thing. And you could really get creeped out by this person, because you'd watch so much, and you could relate to some of the stuff, but then it was like, okay, this is just a bunch of lies. Like you start to see the snarky stuff as time, you get closer and closer to more current videos and more recent videos, and then you run across, when sorry, there's a squirrel staring at me. I turned my face and there's a squirrel sitting on the fence just staring at me. A real literal squirrel moment. The funny thing is that squirrel was doing it earlier today too. Adam and I went to the grocery store, and that squirrel was sitting on that fence just staring at us. Anyway, let's get back to this topic. Okay, where was I with this topic? But this person is begging for money, just doing that, and then starts bragging about how much people gave her, how much people send her, on, and you're just like, oh, this is just awful. Okay, but you're still kind of curious. You still want. By this time, you're hoping the audience catches on, and outs the person for what they're doing. That squirrel, I'm telling you, it's on the roof. Okay, squirrely. Anyway, so you're watching this person. You say, I kind of want to see what happens. Okay. Anyway, at some point, this person, it's an e-beggar, it's a grifter, a con artist, really, scammer, liar. This person has, in some way, because of the amount of money, and this person was struggling. Okay, so they said, And but as a year plus goes on, they started bragging about how much people were giving them, donating to money to them, and all this stuff. And it took them out of the financial class, I guess you call it. I have issues with that, with using class, financial class, all this. My master's degree is in sociology, but I know how it works, all that. Still have trouble, we all have our strengths and weaknesses and all that kind of separation and everything, and people act this way or that way anyway. Now this person, this woman, she feels, and she puts it out there, that because now to her, she's working, but she just works part-time now, because she's come up with all kinds of excuses as why she can only work part-time, and she still needs to be, she's a grifter, she's an e-beggar, she could use some help and all this stuff. And people donate a lot. They think she's funny, whatever they find amusing about her, or worth it. And but she lets it out that she sees herself. She doesn't say these words exactly, but she sees herself as in a higher class now. Financial, big thing, her big view is about how much money she earns. Okay, and she's talking about earns as far as that working part-time, but what people are donating to her. She said she sees it as she's earning that money. Okay, she doesn't see it as that they're donating to help her. She sees it as money she earns. And so therefore to her, because it took her, they donate quite a bit, and they put her in different financial class as she sees it. So she thinks she is superior now. A lot of people, they far too often think that the class above theirs, or say each class is divided into 3 different levels, and they think that the one higher above them, they act a certain way, and and the people, if they want to fake it, they try to act like what they think that the people act like, behave. Like I've given an example recently. It's like the people who, when I was young, this is the first time I heard this when I was young, people who raise their pinky when they drink tea or something, and then that elevates them into a higher class. We were kids, there was something about that. It might have been on a TV show, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. People think that that portion of the class above them is, that's how people act, and so they have to act that way. And no, they don't, and you're looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? But that person does this. And it's like, I've often heard it as a voice. Like one of my sister calls it highfalutin. They're all highfalutin. So, they do whatever they think that shows that they're superior. To them, in their minds, that's what it does. It shows them that they've made it out of the hole they were in, the bad, time in their life, and they earned it. And then, how do you see that? Do you have an opinion on that? You earned it because you begged for it? And then they see themselves as equal to anybody in that class, that they see that, this is the way they see it. And that they're equal to to all others. And then that they're superior to the ones they were before, and they need to realize that they don't have time for them anymore. They're in a higher class of people. And that's all that they need to be around, is the higher class of people. Well, the higher class of people, they might not want to have anything to do with them, because of the way they act and behave and their demeanor, their, just all around. you know, assumptions and whatever. See what I'm saying? Okay, anyway, I think that's the point. But one of the reasons that it's on my mind is because of this whole thing with, you know, some people seem like an everyday, you know, term. People, you know, way people say somebody's being delusional, you know. Not like you would see in the DSM or something, but, you know, no psychosis there, but just how, you know, everyday people see it. What was that just happened on my cell phone? It was weird. But, yeah, you know, that they see themselves. So some of the things that they start doing on these videos, you know, they're delusional. They think that they're at that part when they're not, and they're insulting to their audiences, you know, because they think that they're in a class above their audiences. Their audience or audiences, even. Anyway. Okay, anyway, how is it that you see all that? You would see when you know, you figure out this person is being insulting, and this person doesn't see that these are donations and they could end. You know, I've seen this happen over all these years. My original channel I have had on YouTube, it'll be 11 years in August, and I have seen this so many times. It's like they're all scripted. So many different people, so many different ways it goes. But they put themselves up higher and start really insulting their audience and such. And then some of it is insulting, like they'll go out and spend a lot of money and show that they spend a lot of money. Yeah. I've been stuck on this again lately. Watching, there's more than one, watching these people and seeing what's going to happen. How is this one's going to end, or what is, you know, who's going to out them? Who's going to say what? What is it going to take? Are they going to change? Doubt it. Seriously, I don't think I've ever known any of them to change. There's one that I didn't watch her originally, but she seems to have, you know, she talks about how she was bad and that she's changed her ways, and seems like she has, like I said. But I don't know. She might have a new gig, you know. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm trying to look around to see where Adam went to. He was outside walking around. Oh, there he is. Oh. He's bugging the neighbor. Oh well. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.